I'm hungry. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh my god, stress in English is so difficult.
Oh, Hương, don't worry like that. You know stress is a common problem for all language learners, especially English. Not just for you. But that will be okay because Team 1, Golden Dragons, is here. Our presentation today, Stress Within the Word, has two parts. Part 1, Levels of Stress. Part 2, Placement of Stress, including background information and rules to identify stress. First, we come to some general information about stress. Stress is a relative emphasis that may be given to certain syllables in a word or certain words in a phrase or sentence. We will mark a stress syllables in transcription by placing a small vertical line high up just before the syllable it relates to. You can see this small vertical line before the syllable late in the word relate. And I have a question for you. When I mention level of stress, how many levels do you think? 2, stressed and unstressed? No, but actually stress has 3 levels. The first one is primary stress. It is the strongest emphasis in a word of 2 or more syllables when it is spoken. For example, when you say the word fantastic, the primary stress is on the middle syllable task. Primary stress is marked by putting a raised vertical line at the beginning of the syllables. The second one, secondary stress. It is the second strongest emphasis on a part of a word. This is a type of stress that is weaker than primary stress but stronger than unstressed. For example, when you say pronunciation, the secondary stress is on the second syllable none. It is marked by putting a lower vertical line at the beginning of the syllables. And the last one, unstressed. It is regarded as being the absence of any recognizable prominence. For example, in the word around, the syllable is unstressed. And here we have an important note. Unstressed syllable containing I, U, or a syllabic consonant will sound less prominent than an unstressed syllable containing some other vowels. We have two examples here, pathetic and poetic. The first syllable of poetic is more prominent than the first syllable of poetic.
Now, we'll go into the second section of our presentation, the placement of stress. But before jumping to the central part of stress rules, let's find out with us some background information about weak and strong syllables. With a strong syllable, here we provide with a table clearly to show you about it. Let's take a quick look at the title of each column, and we can see the new term, the RAM, which is the syllable pick and the coda. First, a strong syllable can have its pick ranging from long vowels, deep downs to short vowels. With a pick as long vowels or deep downs, with or without a coda is both acceptable. For example, long vowels in hot, see, and deep downs in die. With a pick as short vowels, however, there must be a coda. Some examples are bet, much, and pull. An important point about strong syllable is that it can be stressed or unstressed depending on the surrounding environment that we will learn later. Meanwhile, the weak syllable can only be the unstressed one. It can never be a stressed one like the strong syllable. The pick of the weak syllable can only be u, e, or syllabic consonant. With a pick as neutral sound, there must not be a coda. For example, lazy. With a pick as schwa, with or without a coda is both acceptable. For example, sofa, southern. With a pick as syllabic consonant, there must be a coda. For example, bet, much, and pull. With a pick as short vowel, e, there must not be a coda, and the following syllable starts with a consonant. For example, B in homicide and E in event.
B. Rules to identify stress. Every rule has its exception. Coming to two-syllable. Well, you can see the general rule that used for nouns and verbs. Nouns are usually stressed near the beginning of a word, while verbs are stressed near the end of a word. Remember that there are 3 same features for putting stress on verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. First of all, for verbs, if the second syllable is a weak syllable or contains O, then the first syllable is stressed. For example, the verb enter had the second weak syllable, ter, containing the consonant a. Therefore, it is stressed on the first syllable. If the second syllable contains O, the first syllable is stressed. For example, follow, borrow. If the second syllable is a strong syllable, then the second syllable is stressed, even if the first syllable is also strong. For example, the verb apply. Adjective shares the three same features as verbs. The second syllable is weak. For example, lovely, even. The second syllable contains O, hollow. The second syllable is strong, divine, alive. However, there are some exceptions when finding the stressed syllable of an adjective. Even when the second syllable is strong, the first syllable is stressed. For example, honest, perfect. Noun. Unlike verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, two-syllable nouns follow different rules. If the second syllable contains a short vowel, the stress is on the first syllable. For example, in the word money, the second syllable contains the neutral E sound, so its stress is on the first syllable. If the second syllable contains a long vowel or a diphthong, the stress is on the second syllable. We've got some examples here. Balloon, design.
Now, I'm going to introduce some rules that help you select the correct syllable to stress in a three-syllable word. First, we'll look at verbs. If the final syllable is strong, it will receive primary stress. Here, we have two examples, entertain and comprehend. If the final syllable is weak and the second syllable is strong, stress will be placed on the second one. For example, encounter and determine. If both the second and third syllables are weak, then the stress falls on the first syllable. For example, parody and monitor. Nouns require a slightly different rule. The general tendency is for stress to fall on the first syllable unless it's weak. For example, quantity and customer. And in words with a weak first syllable, the stress comes on the second one. Thus, we have potato and disaster. Even when the final syllable is strong, that syllable will not usually receive the primary stress. For example, alkaline and marigold. Adjectives have the same rule as nouns. The primary stress tends to be placed on the first syllable, so they are insolent and derelict.
So we have gone through some rules to identify word stress. However, this rule just deals with stress within a word. In reality, instead of saying words in isolation, people often say them in the context of continuous speech. As you know, in English, stress is immensely important. If you put stress on the wrong syllable, the native speaker can easily misunderstand you. So it raises a question. Is learning about word stress enough to help us communicate effectively? Okay, to find the answer, let's look at an example. Listen carefully to your conversation, especially the word bunny.
Excuse me? Down here? Hi.
Oh, goodness. They really did hire a bunny.
First, let's apply the theory to analyze the word bunny. It's a two-syllable word. It's a noun where the second syllable is weak, so it's easy to see that the first syllable, bunny, will be stressed. But let's listen again how the labels say the word bunny.
They really did hire a bunny.
Bunny, you see? He said the word bunny stressed on the second syllable. Did he say wrong? Actually, it's totally correct. Here we need to mention a new term, sentence stress. The label raised his voice in the end of an exclamatory sentence to show his surprise. And you see, sentence stress can sometimes affect word stress. And because the sentence stress depends a lot on the context, so the problem here seems more complex. It is clear that learning stress within a word is still not enough. English stress is daunting. But maybe you're thinking right now, yes, is it difficult? But have you ever wondered why the native speakers don't need to remember rules like us, but still can identify stress correctly? The key here is so simple. They have been listening to English since they were born. Of course, we can't do that like them, but we can still listen to English every day. The more English you listen to, the more familiar you are with stress in English. Nowadays, we can easily get access to a ton of reliable listening sources. Here I recommend some popular TV series to watch. It is better if you can listen to the things you like and learn through it at the same time. Practice makes perfect, so don't give up. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.